Fear is a four-letter word that stops us dead in our tracks. It whispers in our ears, "You can't do this." But what if I told you that the Stoics had a secret weapon to conquer fear? No, it's not a cape or a magical amulet. It's something much more powerful. Meet Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who juggled managing an empire and, let's face it, his own anxieties. His secret? Perspective. Imagine you're terrified of public speaking. Your heart races, your palms sweat, and you wish you could disappear. But Marcus would say, "Hold up. What's the worst that could happen? You fumble a word or two? The world won't end." The Stoics had a trick called premeditatio malorum, which means premeditation of evils. Before you freak out, no, it's not about expecting the worst, it's about mentally preparing for challenges. Imagine you're about to give a speech and you visualize the audience laughing at your jokes, not just staring at you like a deer in headlights. If things go south, you've already prepared for it. And if they don't, bonus. But let's not stop at Marcus. Seneca, the philosopher who looked like he could bench press a mountain, had his own way of handling fear. He believed that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Think about it. How many times have you dreaded something that turned out to be not so bad? Seneca would say, "You feared it so much, it became bigger than it was." Seneca was all about perspective. He once said, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." Imagine you're scared of flying. You picture the plane shaking, the engines failing, and suddenly you're starring in your own disaster movie. But Seneca would remind you, how many flights take off and land safely every day? Don't let your imagination turn turbulence into a catastrophe. And then there's Epictetus, the slave-turned-teacher who probably invented the first life hack. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Picture this. You're late for an important meeting. Panic sets in. But instead of freaking out, channel your inner Epictetus. Control what you can, your reaction. Call ahead, apologize, and handle it like a Stoic boss. Remember, it's not the event, but our response to it that defines us. Epictetus also taught us the power of distinguishing between what we can control and what we can't. He'd say, some things are up to us, and some things are not. Fear often comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. The weather, other people's opinions, traffic jams, none of these are within our control. What is within our control is how we respond. So when you're stuck in traffic, instead of honking and yelling, take a deep breath and use that time to listen to an audiobook or practice mindfulness. Epictetus would approve. But fear isn't just about big things. Even small fears can paralyze us. Scared to ask for that promotion? What's the worst that could happen? They say no. You're in the same place you started, but with valuable feedback and a chance to try again. The Stoics would tell you to act with courage and clarity. Ask yourself, what would a Stoic do? Then go for it. Now here's a funny story. Diogenes, the philosopher who lived in a barrel, talk about minimalist living, once met Alexander the Great. Alexander, impressed, asked if he could do anything for him. Diogenes, without missing a beat, said, "Yes, move out of my sunlight." Talk about fearless. If a guy living in a barrel can sass the most powerful man in the world, surely we can face our fears head on. Diogenes was the master of living with simplicity and boldness. Imagine having the audacity to tell the most powerful man on earth to move aside because he was blocking your sunlight. This wasn't just fearlessness, it was the embodiment of freedom. Diogenes showed us that when you have nothing to lose, fear loses its grip on you. So embrace a bit of Diogenes' spirit. Next time you're scared, remember that most of the things we fear are just shadows, and like shadows, they vanish when faced with the light of reason. Let's not forget the Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort. It's about intentionally exposing yourself to uncomfortable situations to build resilience. Try taking a cold shower, fasting for a day, or walking barefoot on grass. These small acts teach you that discomfort is temporary and survivable. The next time fear rears its ugly head, you'll have the mental toughness to face it. Here's another gem from the Stoic playbook: the dichotomy of control. Focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't. Scared of failing a test? You can control how much you study, but you can't control the questions. Do your best with what you can influence and release the rest. It's liberating. Imagine being Lucius Seneca, Nero's advisor, navigating the whims of an unpredictable emperor. Talk about walking on eggshells. Seneca maintained his composure by focusing on his own actions and responses. We might not have emperors to deal with, but we do have bosses, deadlines, and daily stresses. Use Seneca's wisdom to keep your cool, and let's bring it back to modern times. Ever heard of Tim Ferriss, the productivity guru? He's a big fan of Stoicism. Tim practices fear setting, where you list your fears, explore the worst-case scenarios, and find ways to mitigate them. This practice is straight out of the Stoic playbook and helps turn nebulous fears into concrete, manageable challenges. So next time fear knocks on your door, invite it in for tea. Challenge it, laugh at it, and remember the Stoic wisdom. Fear is just a thought, not a reality. With the right mindset, you can face anything life throws at you. Before you go conquer your fears, make sure to subscribe to Stoic Sphere for more wisdom and laughs. Hit that bell icon so you never miss a moment of Stoic greatness. Because here we don't just face our fears, we conquer them with a smile.